This video is about the role of journalists in the open data ecosystem. The discovery and publication of facts are at the heart of journalism, but the deliberate and structured use of data to support them, known as data journalism, has its origins in the 19th century. Notable examples include the Manchester Guardian's 1821 report on schools, which presented students' data in a table format, and Florence Nightingale's statistical charts that visualized mortality rates during the Crimean War. Digitalization of our society has provided journalists with more ways to access and analyze data. However, it is the rise of open data in the past few decades that has truly revolutionized the field, giving journalists unprecedented access to vast amounts of information to analyze and report on. This abundance of accessible data has transformed journalistic practices, enabling a more comprehensive and data-driven storytelling. Let's examine the key role that journalists can play in the open data ecosystem and how they can improve its circularity, where by circularity we mean the continuous feedback process that incorporates the generation, dissemination, application, and improvement of open data. Data journalists play a key role in the open data ecosystem, acting as crucial intermediaries between raw data and public understanding. Through the use of open data, they can enhance their traditional roles as communicators and transparency advocates, but they can also work as open data intermediaries and producers. Furthermore, they act as catalysts for the public to be exposed to and eventually engage in the open data ecosystem. Using open data, journalists enhance their traditional role as communicators by translating complex open data into accessible narratives, bridging the gap between raw information and public understanding. A good example of this journalistic approach is the stories that were published during the 2016 and 2017 winter period about the problems UK hospitals faced in meeting the 4-hour waiting target for patients in emergency rooms. These articles interpreted open data from hospitals into accessible stories that could explain the issues citizens were facing at the time. This function is particularly important as our world is becoming more complex and increasingly reliant on data. By combining data analysis with storytelling techniques, they transform raw information into relatable and impactful stories. To achieve this, journalists employed a wide range of infographic types to visually communicate open data insights. These visual representations help simplify complex information and make it more accessible to readers. This approach also allows journalists to present evidence-based insights while maintaining audience engagement. Another role that is integrated into the journalistic profession is the accountability aspect. Journalists can conduct in-depth investigations exposing potential misconduct or inefficiencies in governments and corporations. For example, the investigation into the Salmonella outbreak in the US conducted by ProPublica used data from several sources to investigate into the incidents and revealed several flaws into the food safety system. By analyzing and interpreting complex datasets, they uncover patterns, discrepancies, and trends that might otherwise remain hidden from the public. This data-driven approach enabled journalists to present compelling evidence-based reports that hold powerful entities accountable and inform the public about critical issues affecting their lives. Most importantly, this function of journalism, which can be enhanced by the use of open data, as they are readily available and easily accessible, allows them to transform their stories from opinions and demonstrations of public sentiment to data-based critiques. This aligns perfectly with one of the core values of open data, promoting transparency and accountability in society. Journalists can play a more direct role in enhancing the circularity of the open data ecosystem. By presenting data in their stories, journalists enable readers to explore the raw information behind the reporting. This practice enhances transparency and allows audience to draw their own insights from the presented information. By cleaning, analyzing, and compiling information from various sources, journalists create unique datasets that shed light on important issues. These journalist-created datasets can become valuable resources for further reporting, academic research, and public understanding of complex topics. Journalists can also enhance existing datasets by combining multiple sources, as demonstrated in the case of Charlottesville housing crisis, where data from the Census, Bureau of Labor Statistics, ALICE project, and Charlottesville Open Data Portal were integrated to provide a more comprehensive view of housing affordability issues. By using open data for the reporting, journalists can act as evaluators of the data quality of open datasets, detecting discrepancies, inconsistencies, and gaps. Through a unique position in society as public watchdogs, they can directly contact data providers and apply pressure to improve the data that are published. Perhaps the most important role that journalists can have is that of a catalyst for greater public involvement in the open data ecosystem. Journalists demonstrate the power of open data in addressing real-world problems, crafting stories that highlight successful applications of open data in various sectors, such as healthcare, education, or urban planning, effectively showcases the potential of open data to improve lives and communities. These impactful stories can motivate readers to explore and utilize these resources themselves. This can increase public engagement with open data, cultivate a more informed and participatory society, and enable citizens to make data-driven decisions. In conclusion, journalists not only make the insights of open data accessible to the public through their investigations, but they also contribute to the enrichment of the open data ecosystem with the release of their own datasets as open data. For example, The Guardian has a data blog where they maintain a collection of datasets. Similarly, Deutsche Welle and Politico, although they publish mostly open source tools on their GitHub repositories, they also include some datasets that they have used in their reporting. Journalists also play a crucial role as data quality evaluators. Through the use of open data, they enhance their traditional roles as guardians of transparency society. Moreover, they presenting relatable examples of open data usage that they can inspire citizens to become directly involved in the open data ecosystem. All this highlights the importance of journalism in maintaining a vibrant, effective, and circular open data ecosystem that serves the needs of a democratic society by keeping citizens informed and transforming them into active participants both in society and the open data ecosystem.